Hello everyone, and welcome to Kaiju Movie Review. So I got a request from one of my viewers to review a low-dollar sci-fi movie called Teenagers from Outer Space, made in 1959. The title didn't excite me much, but because I'm a glutton for punishment, I agreed to watch it. I had pretty low expectations going into this movie, but I lived through it to bring everyone this review. I actually get to talk about a monster in this film, which sounds great, but it really isn't. The aliens call the monsters Gargons, but seriously, they're just lobsters. They are also an important food source for the aliens. Herds of these Gargons are sent to planets where they're allowed to grow to full size, which can vary between worlds. Growth rate can also vary depending on the environment and how much food they have access to. As babies, they're about the same size as a full-grown lobster, but can grow to 100 times that size in a matter of a day or two. If they are fed anything, it speeds up the growth substantially. Really, there isn't anything special about these things. They're just really big lobster monsters. They don't have any special powers, they can't shoot lasers or nothing. They just eat people. Also, there's only one of these things in the entire movie. The aliens of this movie look just like regular humans, and their race isn't given a name either. Their people are raised like livestock, never knowing their parents or what it's even like to have a family. Only the best examples of their race are allowed to breed, and those who become sick and the elderly are executed. Groups of scouts are sent to different worlds to find suitable locations to raise their Gargon herds. They also believe themselves to be the greatest race in existence, based primarily on the power of their weapons. However, only one weapon of the aliens' arsenal is showcased, a small disintegration weapon, but more on that later. So the movie starts off with the aliens descending on planet Earth in a really goofy-looking spaceship. After landing, a small dog approaches the landed craft, the hatch suddenly opens and an alien blasts the dog with its weapon. All the aliens pile out of the craft and start taking readings of the planet's environment and find it to be acceptable for their Gargons. Here we meet the main character, an alien named Derek, who checks out the remains of the destroyed dog and finds a collar on the animal with a name tag. Derek pleads to his captain that the planet contains intelligent life, and that they should find another place for the Gargons. Next we meet another alien named Thor, who's a badass. He tells Derek that he has gotten soft and not to worry about the inhabitants of this planet. Derek complains that Thor is wrong and holds his entire crew at gunpoint and tells them that they're going to leave this planet and find another one. He is quickly overpowered and stripped of his weapon, but before he is restrained, he escapes into the countryside. Moments later, we find out that Derek is the alien leader's son and that they must find him before the herd arrives. Thor is sent after him and follows Derek, who stumbles upon a nearby town. Later, we meet Betty, the love interest of the movie, and her grandfather. The acting is really something else in this movie. When the aliens first arrive, they talk kind of funny, which I thought was, because they were aliens. It turns out this happens throughout the whole movie, with everyone. The acting is just bad, laughable even. I can distinctly remember laughing just 5 minutes into the movie, just listening to these people talk. Also, everyone is way too trustworthy in this film. If a few random new people showed up in my town wearing really weird clothing and acting strange, I wouldn't let them stay in my house. I guess this movie was created in the 50s, and it was a different time, but I think this movie pushes that a little bit much. All in all, there's just too much awkward dialogue and poor acting in this film. There isn't really any good special effects in this movie either. The disintegration gun doesn't even let off any kind of energy ray. It just looks like they're shining a flashlight at the camera. Oh, and after a person is hit with the gun, they just instantly transform into a skeleton, and there's no effect for it either. Just the gun being pointed at screen, and BAM! Instant skeleton. Even then, that's not done right most of the time. All the people are turned into complete skeletons with all the bones attached and everything. The gun is supposed to destroy all the tissue except for the bones, so they shouldn't be attached. The only time this is done correctly is when Thor blasts a dog at the beginning of the movie. Also, the Gargons are really lame. The baby is just a regular full-size lobster. However, the big ones just look like someone's holding a lobster in front of a projector. Then later, a really poor blue screen effect of a lobster imposed on the screen to look huge. obviously really poorly done and could have been done a lot better. I mentioned earlier that I had really low expectations going into this movie, but honestly, I actually enjoyed it. There are not a lot of good things about this film. The plot is generic, the acting and special effects are pretty bottom of the barrel, but there was just something fun about the movie, but it could have been just me. I never got bored watching it, and it flowed really quickly, not to mention how over the top the whole show was. To be fair though, I did like that the aliens didn't know how to interact well with people, and they were really unfamiliar with the technologies of Earth. Also, the ending was crazy. I honestly had no idea it was going to end the way that it did. This film is low buck and pretty poor overall, but I would only recommend it to the super curious or if you like low dollar sci-fi movies like myself. Although this movie does have a certain kind of charm to it, it doesn't really help its rating much, so I'm giving this movie a very generous 2 out of 5.